Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Bros, and today we're going to be talking about The Dead, written by James Joyce. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. So, The Dead by James Joyce. Lots of things are happening within this work. Basically, what happens? You get this party. This party it's thrown by these two aunts of this man by the name of Gabriel. And Gabriel is married to a woman by the name of Greta. So this is Gabriel Conroy. And his aunts, Kate and Julia, are throwing this party. And it's a great party. People come every year, family, friends, everybody just having a good old time. And basically, this party is everybody's there, everybody's present, and they're just enjoying themselves. And basically, it's about the dead. I mean, this story is how can I say it? Everybody throughout the short story is reflecting about dead people, people who have died, things who have died in the past, animals. Um, when you look closely, the dead, it's kind of like this short story is reminding you of the dead. Gabriel gives this big speech within the short story where he says he doesn't want to focus on dead people anymore. He wants to focus on the present, the future, things like that. Because, we as people, we live in the present and we can hope for the future because, well, the present is ours today, right now, and the future, if you live to see it, you can hope for it. But the past is the past. Once it's done, it's done. You cannot go to the past. The past is the past. So, yeah, that's just how it is. And the short story, we're focusing a lot on the dead and the people who lived and died and how the past affects the future. And it's true, your past does affect your future. Every decision that you make today will affect your tomorrow. That's just how life works. And we don't know the outcomes of things, things just happen, and that's just life. And so there's a lot of people reflecting, a lot of people making decisions that they might regret in the present within the short story. Ultimately, the most important story within this short story is when Greta remembers Michael, this man, 17-year-old boy that used to love her. He used to sing to her this wonderful song that she remembers, and they sing the song at the party, and Greta hears it and she starts crying and remembers Michael and how Michael was in love with her to the point where he died because of his deep love for Greta. And Greta is, I mean, she's crying. It's really hard for her because here's this young boy that she used to know, that they were romantically linked, and this young boy died because of his love for Greta, because this love was so deep, was so revolutionary that it cost him his life. And that's the thing with love, man. When you truly deeply fall in love with somebody, they're under your skin. Their words mean 100 times more than anybody else's words. They affect your behavior, your actions. I mean, even in the Bible goes to the point where it says, like, when you get married, you become one flesh. Like a husband and wife become one flesh. So we can see that, when you're in love, when you're truly deeply in love, it's something that goes beyond emotion to the point where the flesh is one. Not the soul, not the spirit, but the flesh becomes one thing, which is quite a line from the Bible, quite a verse from the Bible. It requires a lot of reflection to understand what that means. But within this work right here, we get a little understanding of that because Michael loved Greta so much that he died. He died because of her. And Greta this is really hard for Greta. And Gabriel, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the depth that exists within human emotions, because human emotions, I tell you, man, they're complex. There are levels to sadness, there are levels to happiness, there are levels to joy, there's levels to hate, there's levels to everything. I mean, you can be annoyed with someone and not hate them, and you can feel different emotions. You can feel the annoyed, hatred, and love at the same time. It's a hard thing, but for example, if you're a mother, you could be annoyed at your kid, and I mean, you could be bothered, and you could be boiling with your child, and they're like the Grinch to you, but you still love them dearly. So I mean, that's the best example I can bring and I can present right now in terms of emotions, because like sometimes you can absolutely be annoyed with somebody, but still love them dearly, and that's something maybe mothers and fathers can feel sometimes, because you love your children to pieces, but sometimes, man, they're little Grinches, man. They're just little Grinches. Yeah, but you gotta love your little Grinches. Mm-hmm. But basically, so this short story, we meet a lot of different people that are grieving in their own way. They're remembering dead people and what those dead people meant to them. And also, this short story reflects on time and how time changes over time and how it affects us, and how the present and the past are not the same thing, and how things change, how relationships between people change, and how these things affect us. But ultimately, the short story "The Dead" ends with Greta revealing to Gabriel, after he gives his big speech, revealing the story about Michael and how Michael loved her, and then Michael died because of the deep love that he had for her. And also, it also says a lot about Gabriel, because like Gabriel didn't understand his wife's, because Greta is married to Gabriel. They're married, but Gabriel was somewhat jealous of Michael throughout the short story, because Gabriel saw how much Greta was crying over Michael, and he didn't know that Michael was dead. But after he learns that Michael was dead, he really really sees how messed up he was and treating his wife so poorly over this boy that loved her once and died. Because Gabriel, at some point of the story, while Greta is facing all this grief, he's thinking about sleeping with his wife. He's having lustful thoughts. He's like, I'm in this hotel room with my wife. I just gave this great speech. We're at this great party. Now we're gonna go back to our hotel room. And he was thinking about sleeping with his wife, and those lustful thoughts were coming, and he was like trying to get close to her. There's one point where he gets her into a tight embrace, and he's just he's trying to just put on the moves, and she's not in the mood. She's thinking about this dead boy that meant a lot to her, and who died because of her. So completely, this is another depiction on how human emotions, the human condition is so complex. They are married. Greta does love Gabriel. They do love each other, and they're married and everything. But at the moment within the short story, when they're in the hotel room alone, they have different minds. Okay, they're in different places. It's not that she doesn't love Gabriel. It's just she's grieving over this human being that died because of her. Because she recognizes that there's somebody that loved her so much that the person died. I mean, and that's deep. That's a deep thing to carry throughout your life. You want people to be in love with you, but you don't want them to die. I mean, no one wants that for anybody. And to know that you're the cause of someone's death, oh man, that's hard. That's hard to live with. And Greta's going through this grief, and her husband is just thinking about sex. So you see how much layers. And Gabriel does feel ashamed after he learns the truth, because he's like, ugh, it's kind of nasty, man. You're thinking about this, and she's thinking about someone who died. It's the ending's kind of, ugh. It's a little grimy, man. It's a little nasty, because his mind was not in the right place, and she was not. No, 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 no. But in terms of analysis and deeper meaning, yeah, The Dead by James Joyce, it conveys a lot of emotions. It really, you have to read it carefully to understand the depth of emotions, because all the characters, we do express several characters within this work. And we see how words impact them, how emotions, how music. We see how music, words, atmosphere, temperature, weather, setting, how all of that plays with the emotions. And when you truly understand human emotions, it's really valuable because everything around us plays with our emotions. And if we actually truly learn how to understand people's emotions better, we would live in a better world. Because really, it's really clear that sometimes we're just not on the same page, man. We're just not on the same page because Greta's grieving. She's not thinking about sex, but Gabriel's like, yeah, he's just on a whole nother planet. And then when he learns where his wife is at, it's kind of like, ugh, you're just ugh, oh, that's just nasty. Your wife is not there, bro. Just ugh. But that's the short story. There's a lot to unpack here. But that's my summary analysis. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video.